Good morning, everybody. It's great to see you all again today. I wanted to get started with today with just a really brief lecture on Chapter 1 from our textbook, Rhetorical Criticism by Sonia K. Foss. So if you want to follow along with me here, feel free to do that. But we're reading through Chapter 1, where Foss is talking just a little bit about what is rhetoric and then what is rhetorical criticism. And I wanted to draw your attention to a couple of things that we're then going to be practicing and working with in class. So if you take a look here with me, we have the definition of rhetoric. As seniors in the rhetoric major or minor, most of you are probably already familiar with most of these definitions. So this should be pretty familiar to all of you at this point. But then we go to her three-part system, which you may or may not have encountered before. It's about the creators of rhetoric, the medium of rhetoric, and the purpose of rhetoric. So I want us to be able to think about those things. Specifically, what I want you to do is think about something that you would identify as rhetorical. So obviously, a tree simply existing out in the woods, not really rhetorical. But a tree being used by someone working with the World Wildlife Foundation or a logging company or an energy company, that begins to take on symbolic value. Ferdinand just jumped up here to see me while I'm recording this lecture. A cat, in and of himself, aw, so snuggly, not really rhetorical at all. But when I begin using him as an example, then he becomes rhetorical. He's not sure what he thinks about that. So I want you to think about and come to class prepared to talk about something that you identify as rhetorical. Specifically, find something that's meaningful to you and identify why it's rhetorical, how it's created, symbolic, and serves a purpose. And then second, we want to talk a little bit about rhetorical criticism. So you'll see Foss goes beyond the definitions that I came up with for class last week. But I want you to think a little bit about rhetorical criticism, this process that we're going to engage in, which Foss identifies as a systematic analysis of acts or artifacts that lead to some kind of understanding of the process of rhetoric. Okay? So I want you to think about an act or artifact that you might analyze. So this doesn't have to be your whole semester project. This could be something as simple as how often I use the kitty cat here in my videos, or a credibility bookcase, as we talked about last week. It could be something as interesting as the clothing that you choose to wear, or something much more professional and rhetorical, such as a presidential speech or something that happens on the floors of Congress. But I want you to think about a rhetorical artifact, as Foss defines it, and how you might engage with it or critique it as a way of understanding something about rhetoric. So please have those two things, something that you identify as rhetorical and something on which you could perform rhetorical criticism, ready to talk about in class. If you could go ahead and write those down for your practice submission for today so that we can talk about them in class. I look forward to seeing everybody. Bye-bye.